Oh, good, okay.
That also affected the store. Yeah, remembering when we had rubber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Hi, how are you? What's that?
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
He was just right there. He may have went in the back room. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Jackson Township Planning Board. May 18th. The year is going quick. This meeting has been adequately published in all the appropriate places and forums according to the Open Public Meetings Act, and I will leave it up to Madam Chairwoman.
Good evening, everyone. We'll have a roll call, please.
Mr. Brezzi.
Here.
Mr. Marzo. Mr. Heller.
Here.
Mr. Parks.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Santoro. Mr. Tremor.
Here.
Mr. Weingart. Mr. Sullivan.
Here.
Dr. Campbell.
Here. A motion, please, for payment of voucher for recording secretary for May 18th meeting, please.
So moved.
Second, Sullivan.
Mr. Brezzi.
Yes.
Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Parks.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Santoro. Mr. Tremor.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. Motion, please, for approval of the minutes from May 4th.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of May 4th, 2026. Sullivan.
Second.
Mr. Brezzi.
Yes.
Mr. Parks.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Tremor.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. And we have one resolution.
Yes. Resolution 2026-13 of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting preliminary and final major site plan approval with design waivers for an office building and warehouse for 510 Whitesville LLC, Block 22401, lots 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Eligible to vote are Mr. Brezzi, Mr. Heller, Mr. Parks, Mr. Rogers, Ms. Santoro, Mr. Sullivan, and Dr. King.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-13. Sullivan.
Second.
Mr. Brezzi,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Parks,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Ms. Santoro, Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. Thank you. Any engineering or planning matters, gentlemen? Any legal matters, sir?
Not at this time.
All right. Okay, Mr. Alfieri, you're on.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Salvatore Alfieri, Cleary, Jacoby, Alfieri, Jacobs, on behalf of the applicant. And this being on, I'm assuming we're on Star Capital. That's the first one we're doing,
That's fine.
right? Okay. Thank you. This application is a daycare facility, conditional use. You'll hear testimony that we meet all of the conditions of the ordinance, and therefore we're properly before this board. We've received reports from the board professionals, police, fire, et cetera, which we're prepared to address. We have 3 witnesses, traffic, engineering, and architecture, and we're going to start with engineering planning.
Thank you.
All right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record because we don't know who you are.
Eric Halpert, Halpert, licensed professional engineer and planner in the state of New Jersey. I've appeared before this board multiple times, and these plans were prepared under my supervision.
We accept your credentials, Mr. Halpert. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. And Mr. Halper, I know we submitted exhibits in advance of this hearing tonight, and we're going to start with an aerial.
Yes. Anthony, can you please pull up the exhibit set?
And you're going to be testifying as an engineer and a planner?
Correct.
Both?
Correct. This exhibit is an aerial exhibit. It could be marked Exhibit A1. The exhibit depicts The area surrounding subject property is shaded in yellow. Subject property is located on the southwesterly side of South New Prospect Road, a county Route 641 near the intersection of Wood Lane, and it is highlighted in yellow. The subject property is located in the R1 zone. Near the corner is the NC zone. The subject property is surrounded by R1 zoned residential properties and uses, and across the roadway, there are R20 properties as well. Anthony, could you please pull up the site plan? There's a separate file, not in the same set. There's a separate file for plan sets. Thank you. Could you go to the third sheet of this set? The next sheet, I'm sorry. The board is viewing the submitted site plan, and I'll go through the operations first. The applicant is proposing to construct a daycare center. The footprint will be 18,338 square foot footprint with a floor area on the first floor of 17,663 square feet, a second floor attic area of 9,450 square feet. The applicant is proposing a daycare with 95 parking spaces, recreational play areas, landscaping, lighting. The hours of operations of the daycare will run Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. There won't be any weekend or evening operations planned. The number of students enrolled per the recent resubmission and the statement of operations will be revised is 282 children with 49 staff members on the main floor and 20 additional staff members in the attic floor. The facility will be staffed by teachers' aides, and administrative personnel. The range of activity, the range of the care will range from infant care to toddler. There will be indoor play area, indoor play, outdoor play. Drop-off and pick-up schedule will generally occur in the morning between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and in the afternoon between 3 p.m. and 4:15 p.m. That would cover the operations.
Could we make it clear that no weekend or evening operations, not just say are planned, will not happen?
The applicant agrees to that.
Thank you.
Now, can we run through the conditional use standards, please, before we get into the site plan related details, just so we can confirm that we meet all the conditions?
Certainly. The applicant is proposing to construct a daycare under Ordinance 244-114, a permitted conditional use. Going through the conditions. The condition number 1 is to provide a statement of operations, and a statement of operations is provided and will be revised per the testimony just given. The minimum required lot area is 1 acre, and the proposed site, after providing a dedication to the county, is 2.81 acre, and therefore the applicant complies. Condition number 3 is regarding accessory buildings, and there are no accessory buildings proposed. Condition number 4 is regarding all interior facilities and areas to be used by the children shall be located on the principal entrance floor and any other level which is not more than half a story above or below the finished grade at the location from which pedestrian access is provided to the building. And the applicant is complying with that condition. All area to be used by the children is on the ground floor, and the attic is meant for administrative and storage, and the children will not be using the second floor. And the architect will go through the architect plan in more detail. Condition number 5, a minimum of 100 square feet per rated building capacity of outdoor space devoted to recreational use shall be provided and shall be entirely fenced or otherwise protected from hazards, traffic, and driveways. And the applicant is proposing an outdoor area of 35,920 square feet to comply with this condition. And as I go through the site plan, I will demonstrate where the outdoor recreation area is in the rear and along the one of the sides. Basement, condition number 6, basement is regarding basements, and there is no basement proposed, so the applicant complies. All loading, condition number 7, all loading and unloading shall take place on site and not in the right-of-way, and the applicant is not proposing any loading or unloading in the right-of-way and is providing pickup and drop-off in front of the building with the extra parking spaces. And as we go through the site plan, this will be discussed in more detail. Note, condition number 8, no temporary or permanent residential dwelling facility shall be provided in a child care center, nursery, school, or daycare center, and the applicant is complying with this condition. None of those are proposed. Condition number 9 requires the facility to be licensed, and the applicant will be receiving a license, will comply with this condition, and will receive a license for the child care center.
Madam Chair, if I might, since Mr. Alfieri took the time to talk about conditional use so we can continue the hearing.
That'd be great.
It's our position that they do indeed meet the 9 conditional use standards under 244-114 for daycare centers, and that the board correctly has jurisdiction to hear the remainder of the application.
That's a help. Thank you.
Thank you. So Ellie, let's get into site plan details, please.
I'll go through the site plan and then go through the reports and comments. First, discussing the improvements associated with the project before getting into the property along the county roadway. As part of the project, as mentioned earlier, the property is located along County Route 641, South New Prospect roadway, and as part of the project, the applicant has received approval with conditions from Ocean County Planning Board. And as the board is aware, the county recently provided the 3-lane striping up to this intersection, and as part up to the intersection of Wood Lane at the traffic light, which is approximately here, as part of subject project application to the planning board, to the Ocean County Planning Board. The applicant will be continuing those improvements to stripe 3 lanes in front of the property, which includes some roadway widening to accommodate the 3 lanes, and will continue the taper beyond the subject property as per Ocean County Planning Board requirements. Additionally, as part of the general infrastructure improvements associated with the project, the applicant will be extending the sewer, which terminates currently at the intersection of Wood Lane and South New Prospect, and the applicant seeks to construct the structure and connect to the public sewer system. The applicant has received preliminary approval from the Jackson MUA to extend the sewer to the edge of the property in order to provide public sewer to the facility. Additionally, there will be curbing, sidewalk as part of the project. Discussing the actual site plan within the site. The applicant seeks, as mentioned earlier, to construct a two-story building with the children facilities located on the first floor. First floor area is 17,663 square feet. The main access is in the front. There are multiple doorways additionally along the sides. For additional egress, the architect will discuss the architect plan more in detail. The applicant has provided a play area in the rear and has coordinated with the fire official to ensure that there is fire access. The applicant has received approval from the fire official that has been submitted to the board regarding the circulation. The fire official has provided his standard comments regarding placement of hydrants, fire department connections, but the applicant seeks to provide a play area in the rear and parking as depicted. The applicant is providing 95 parking spaces per the calculation on the cover sheet. 54 parking spaces are required. The applicant is proposing extra parking to aid in pickup and drop off. The applicant, in dealing with childcare, prefers extra spaces for pickup and drop off will be utilized as opposed to a school type loading, unloading area where the car pulls in and the child gets out. The parent will be able to get out of the car with the child and bring the child to the building. There is a refuse enclosure in the rear of this drive aisle. There are walkways connecting the parking area to the building, connecting the building to the sidewalk that is proposed along South New Prospect roadway as well.
Is there a plan for fencing?
As part of the one of the conditions requires it to be fenced, and the applicant is providing fencing along the recreation area, and I'll go through the landscape plan more clearly to depict the landscaping and the play area. And Anthony, can you please bring up the first exhibit set, the second sheet, please, of the first exhibits. Thank you. The applicant is proposing, the board is looking at, and this could be marked as exhibit A2.
A3 because the site plan.
Okay, the site plan will be A2, and this sheet will be exhibit A3. The legend shows the area in dark green is the play area for the children, and the area is fenced in for safety of the children. The children have access to the play area directly from the building without needing to cross over any parking area, and there's buffering along the sides, some shade trees within the play area for shading, good to run around also. And this is the depiction of the play area to comply with the conditional use number 5.
How high is the fencing?
4-foot fence,
4 foot?
correct.
And it goes all the way from the edge of the buildings on the back and
Correct.
all the way around the back of the property? And what about fencing around the,
The fencing is not, the fencing will go to the edge of the building. And there is a fence additionally, the basin, there is a basin in the rear, and that regardless would require to be fenced, and that will also be fenced separately.
is there fencing where you're showing now?
Yes.
And across the
yellow.
parking lot area fencing?
There is fencing, this yellow
Good.
Anthony, could you zoom in a little bit, please? There is fencing from the rear of the parking and all around. And Anthony, could you keep it zoomed in and scroll up to see the other part of the page? This is direct access from the building, and there is fencing as well. And this fencing will be connected to the building. And there is fencing along the entire area
Could you go down to
encompassing.
could you go down to the very bottom and to the left, please?
Over here,
Yes, and to the left.
farther, Anthony,
I want
could
to see
you,
the fencing behind that.
behind the basin?
Yes. Okay.
Anthony, could you zoom into this area? Is it depicted on this plan? The applicant will be providing fencing around the storm basin standards.
And around the entire back end of the property?
Yeah, and could you zoom up again around the entire back end? On the other side here, here are the buffering plantings, and then this is
Fencing.
fencing.
All right, I'm concerned about that fencing being extended to the back line there on the left, to the left.
Over here?
No, over there, to the left, in the back of the buffering. Yes, because that looks like that open area might be unsafe for anyone locally. So if there might be children coming from another area to where that could be, there needs to be a fence along that entire property line.
This fence, you would
Yes.
like to continue this fence
Continue along the entire property line.
in addition to the fence
Correct,
directly on
correct.
the applicant would be willing to do that.
Great.
Okay, yes. The applicant would add a second fence in addition to the fence that would be required to surround the basin.
Can you describe how the stormwater management will function?
Anthony, could you go back to the site plan? To sheet number 5, please. The next sheet, thank you. The applicant has provided a stormwater management system consisting of inlets, piping to a stormwater basin that we just discussed, and piping to a underground subsurface basin. And as was pointed out prior to the hearing, a corrected cover sheet will be submitted. A stormwater report has been prepared for this property, and a corrected stormwater management report with the correct cover sheet will be resubmitted to the board professionals and to the Environmental Commission. Anthony, could you go back to the previous sheet? I'll go through the comments, the reports. The report May 12th from the board planner.
I think you're up to page 6 on this report, that signage.
Correct, yeah, yes. The applicant is not proposing a monument sign and is only proposing a facade, and the architect will discuss the square footage, the requirement of the wall sign.
I think we've been asking for an address monument
The applicant is willing to provide an address
for
sign.
the sake of the police and the fire department.
The applicant is willing to
Nothing,
provide,
nothing fancy, just
to provide
just
their-
something small.
there is room within the safety islands to provide.
Mr. Tremor?
I'll discuss some of the traffic and circulation comments, and the traffic expert will discuss more in detail. There is, regarding the comment, the possibility of attempting to provide a direct access through the adjacent lot. The uses are different uses. The applicant did reach out to the adjacent owner. The adjacent owner is not so amenable to having the child care traffic go through their property, which I understand. But the applicant did speak with the adjacent owner. The traffic expert will discuss more queuing and circulation regarding parking setbacks and design waivers required. The applicant requires a design waiver for providing parking within the buffer area along the recently approved place of worship on the adjacent lots 19 and 20, as well as a design waiver for providing parking within the front setback. And along the adjacent property is a commercial use, and I believe a 15-foot buffer to the commercial use is acceptable. The board often grants the waiver for providing parking adjacent to a commercial use. These are two commercial uses, and buffering should not be required to as great an extent. The applicant is providing buffering in the front, and it is sensible to design the parking in the front with the play area in the back.
Would that buffering include a berm, perhaps? A berm-style buffering so that it's raised property?
The grading is soft grading. The applicant has the ability to provide a berm if the board.
Might be a little safer and more attractive.
The applicant has the ability to provide a berm.
Any thoughts from the board on that? A berm? A little more attractive. And from the road?
The applicant could do that and could work with the board engineer
Good.
for the height and width span.
Sound good?
There is, regarding a loading area, the applicant is shall provide a loading area, shall remove a parking space in order to accommodate a loading area measuring 12 feet by 35 feet. There is room where I am showing over here for the applicant to provide a loading area, and the applicant does not require a waiver from providing a loading area. That's a sensible thing to provide. The traffic expert will discuss the rest of the traffic comments. EV-ready spaces shall be provided to comply with the requirement. Regarding landscaping, Anthony, could you, I'm sorry, go back to the landscape exhibit, the exhibit set, that's sheet number 2. The regarding landscaping, per 244193B1, there are buffer areas required of 25 feet. The applicant is proposing is utilizing as part of is utilizing the play area in some of the buffer area. The applicant is providing significant landscaping and screening, and it should be pointed out as well that the master plan refers to the outdoor recreation area requirement does actually greatly exceed the state requirement. The applicant is complying with the ordinance. However, from an operations perspective, the applicant will be not utilizing the entire play area. The state requirement allows for stages of different classrooms utilizing the same area at different times, no applicant would, no childcare operator would have the entire facility utilize the recreation area at one time. The ordinance does require a recreation area per the entire facility, which the applicant is providing. However, practically, the applicant would be utilizing generally an area less than 10,000 square feet. And I believe the design waivers from providing the buffering because the play area is in that area is justifiable, because essentially it is lawn in a buffer area. The applicant is agreeable to provide plantings that are 6 to 8 feet tall at the time of planting in order to achieve a solid screen as quickly as possible. And the applicant would be willing also as well to provide a solid fence along the edge of that 10-foot landscaped screening area along the rear and the side. Regarding the front buffer area, as discussed, the applicant is providing a buffer area and will provide a berm to work with the board engineer. The applicant will work with the landscape experts, and end islands and dividing strips shall be provided with the required landscaping per 244-197K, and does not seek any waiver from that section.
And the comment you just made about working with the landscape professional, that's the
That is
Artheon, which used to be CME, April 27th, 2026 report. We'll address those comments.
correct.
Okay.
Regarding lighting, the applicant will be providing, as indicated, cutoff shields, and will be providing to ensure that there is no glare to the adjacent property. The applicant is willing to provide lighting on timers. As previously mentioned, there will be no weekend or weeknight. There will be no night use.
So everyone is leaving the property by about 5 PM, so we could have a 6 PM, no lights?
6 p.m. It's a childcare facility. It will be empty at that point.
Refuse, I know Mr. Peters indicates he has concerns with the location. I'm not sure if you looked at that.
Regarding refuse, we are currently showing the refuse location over here. This is a private hall. The applicant has the ability to provide, to change that location behind the front setback if the board would wish. Again, as mentioned earlier, there is extra parking, generous extra parking to aid in the drop-off, but losing a space or two and adjusting the refuse area if the board would want is something the applicant is able to do without requiring any variance of front setback or side area.
Madam
Did you
Chair,
have a location, Ernie?
weren't happy with the dumpster in the rear because quite frankly, it's part of the play area. So at some point, the correct design for this is there's going to be a 6-foot fence with landscaping around it. And now someone who's standing outside won't be able to see down that chute parallel to the parking area. So just put it in line with the front of the building, someplace a garbage truck can get at it, pull in, pull out, lose 2 parking spaces over there. The daycare center is the paramount design standards, safety, right? For the students.
Correct.
Having a 6-foot tall fence in an area where unless someone's standing guard along that long, thin area, you can't see past it.
So moving that up to the top right or That,
Any place in the parking lot
Any
where a
place.
garbage truck can easily
so
pull in.
I think
Turn
Mr.
around, get
Mr. Klee can discuss that and decide on the best location for
Yes.
all involved.
Yes.
All right. Any thoughts on the board on that? Agree? Okay. All right, thank you.
And I will go through the,
Mr. Peters does ask about lot consolidation. We would do a lot consolidation because there's separate lots presently. And then utilities, you indicated already, we're going to connect to this.
we will, as part of the project, there will be a sewer main extension, and the applicant has received preliminary approval from the MUA already. Going through the
Board engineer,
board
May
engineer
12th.
review letter dated May 12. The applicant, the conditional use standards.
Well, I don't know if you need to go through point by point, since many of the items were duplication. So can you stipulate that you would address all of the comments?
Yes, and specifically regarding soil removal, the applicant doesn't anticipate there will be soil removal. There is no basement, and it is very soft grading. However, the applicant would comply with ordinance 244166 if it should come to greater than 1,000 cubic yards.
And you already indicated that there was a fire report that's dated December 17th.
Correct.
And you comply with all of those recommendations and
Yes.
comments?
Yes.
And you didn't say it, but I'm assuming other than the items you testified to, you would also agree to address the technical comments in Mr. Peters' report?
Yes.
Just make sure I didn't. I think that's all we have, Madam Chair, for
Mr.
Halpern.
Trummer, you had anything on the fire issues?
Yes, actually. Thank you, Mr. Halpert. I do have one quick question. I noted that Jackson Police Traffic Safety and the fire official from District 3 noted that they were particularly concerned about the rear access for the fire truck. I'm quite familiar with that fire truck. It is pretty large, and I know you touched on it briefly. Is there any chance of a possibility of maybe eliminating either those last 2 or 3 spots, or even giving additional access? Because the rear access is super important when it comes to fire access, especially with that kind of emergency vehicle. If there's any way we could just make the rear slightly more accessible without impinging on the play area, is that a possibility?
And to clarify, you're asking to remove a little bit so there could be an opening where there will be no cars parked in order for fire to access?
Yeah,
and you're
because
looking
I'm thinking in the worst case scenario, if perhaps those parking spots are all filled, if that truck needs to get in there, even if it was to come to the very end of the fire lane there on either side, that truck has outriggers that need to come out and position to get
Correct.
the aerial apparatus up. And what that does is just, if we could block off those last few spaces, I think that would alleviate, I would be satisfied at least. I don't know if Fire Official Grossman would agree with me or not, but I think it would, in my opinion, it would alleviate the access problem and let the aerial apparatus for the fire district be able to have access to the rear. And that way we're not impinging on the play area as well.
The applicant would be willing to do that. And just to clarify also, the fire official, Mr. Grossman, did approve, is okay with the plan.
Okay.
Maybe,
But we could do
but we could do that.
And you're looking at 2 spaces on the either side
Yeah,
of the
just
aisle.
the last 2 on the far side, the last 2, and then on the near side, the last 3, basically leaving where the building ends, leaving that space open and
Yes.
just striping those off for fire access would alleviate that problem and give fire access to the rear.
And just
Certainly, the
stripe it to
applicant-
say fire lane,
The applicant,
Striping, yes.
no
Yes.
parking.
no fire zone, yes.
That's no problem.
I think that would be a great design.
Would the
Thank you.
chain link fence being a problem with you guys trying to get there to the rear?
Chain link fences usually aren't too much of a problem, but
We could
I
have
think
a
that's,
knock
yeah,
button, yes,
I think that's the, I think that's a great idea.
The applicant would agree to that.
Any questions at this time from the board?
Next, we're going to call our architect.
Oh,
Doug.
sorry. I thought I got you earlier.
Sorry, Doug.
Mr. Clee.
Thank you. From an environmental end, I read the EIS, and I don't think there's any environmentally sensitive,
Correct.
concerns. The letter from the DEP Heritage,
Yes.
I'm just curious as to why you would get that, kind of took an extra step to property that didn't.
That's part of the EIS is to request that, and they provided that letter indicating on-site there are no threatened and endangered species, and off-site that there are about 800 feet away.
Mr. Halper, I'm not sure your microphone is on, or you have to
I'm
get
sorry.
closer to it. Thank you.
Yes.
As far as the driveways go, there is a design exception for the 2 driveways that are proposed. But in my mind, it's a county jurisdiction. If you can get the county approval, then I take no exception to the waiver. You had indicated that there's part of the reasoning behind the extra parking is for the drop-offs. Are those drop-off areas going to be signed? Meaning,
The front will be signed as drop-off.
So employees are parked.
Employees will be parking off of those spots.
Yeah, I think you had indicated that the age group is infant to toddler.
6 weeks to 5 years old.
Infant, toddler, and preschool-aged childcare.
Okay. And how old child? 2-year-old?
5.
5 years old, I believe.
Okay.
6 weeks to 5 years.
And could that change?
Not unless they come back here.
Yeah, I think, because this is preschool, it's not going to be a
Preschool.
school.
It just speaks to, if that was the age group, do you really need that much, I'll say, playground area?
No, we don't.
Right, but if it's going to change, then maybe the playground area is fine, it's fine the way it is.
Yeah.
I just
We're-
need a clarification.
Yeah, we're only providing it because the ordinance requires it, not because we need it.
And there is no aftercare. No
Well, not
aftercare.
after 4 o'clock, so they're,
So would there
not
be,
after 6, but
would there be anyone, say, an 8-year-old coming for aftercare?
no. I looked into the client, he said no.
I saw the, I saw
I
the
know,
head
but the
shake.
record didn't say it.
Okay, all right.
Are there any recreational amenities in the play area? Again, it kind of speaks to if it was just toddlers, I don't think you'd need much, and you got a nice buffer. And if that's going to change, then maybe we should look at the, I'll call it active recreation.
The applicant is willing to provide a play set, a slide area.
Although we may not need it.
Although it may not be needed, the applicant will be willing to provide that.
And we can confirm that this is a single use, it's daycare only.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank
The
you.
entire building.
And lastly, there was some brief testimony regarding, I think the applicant approached the adjoining property owners looking for some type of cross access, and the adjacent property owner didn't have any interest.
Correct.
Right. Would the applicant be willing to provide easements, cross access easements on his property? So if in the future somebody wanted to do something, things change, at least the ability to have a cross access, keep cars off the county road, may not be a bad idea. May never need it, but
Sure. I guess we could. I don't know what it does to the design of both properties.
you might lose, I'm just
Three
thinking,
spaces.
you might lose a couple of spaces, but you got plenty of them. And I'm just thinking, though, that the front access driveway, the front, up and down, yeah. Where where it intersects the circulation aisle, right there. Now come down. The other way. Along
Come
that.
to the bottom of the page here.
Adjacent to the property next door.
Just extend that to the new property line. More or less match your front aisle up with adjacent properties. And just an easement.
And then we could put parking stalls there unless
Parking stores
it's
there
used.
now, but if
That's
somebody
fine.
wanted to develop the site
We'll just put it-
adjoining, we know there's enough parking to, that they can lose 3 spaces or whatever.
So an access easement extending 15 plus 8, 33
Whatever it is,
feet.
whatever it takes to get to the property line.
Okay.
Both property lines?
Both, and then
No,
the.
there we go. The northerly property line.
Up at the very
Top.
top.
This property as well?
Well, why
Yeah.
not?
We could certainly provide the easement, whether it's ever
Sure.
used or not, because that's
Yeah,
a house, I think.
Yeah,
is it?
but,
Yeah,
you know,
Madam Chair, Mr. Klee and I are from the Toms River Township School of
Be
limiting
ready.
the number of access points that have direct access to a traffic light. So when you're in downtown Toms River, in their village commercial or historic commercial zone, they don't want parking lot access points every 65 feet. So if you think about that in downtown Freehold on Old Route 33. In this particular case, while the county doesn't require it, to the extent that if there was a future need, we'd be able to keep all of these vehicles from accessing the county road. They'd be slower, they'd be safer. Quite frankly, the piece of property to the east or south of this, which the owner said no thank you to, has direct access to the traffic light. It's a house of worship. I don't know that the house of worship and a daycare center conflict in terms of uses. That being said, if we do the proper planning now, who knows how things change a decade, a generation from now, and at least we put this in place. Mr. Klee and I have found this very useful and successful in downtown Toms River. And while this certainly isn't downtown Jackson, it's an area where we could limit access points to a county road, one piece of property away from a traffic light. So that's our.
I
train of
often
thought.
ask myself as I'm driving why I can't go from one piece of property to the other without going back out on the street. So I think proper planning,
We could do that, that's
proper
fine.
planning.
We'll put it right to the property line, and they could connect if it ever is worked out. Correct.
Sounds good. Mr. Rogers?
I have one question on it, traffic circulation. I see that we have, let's say we deducted a couple of parking spaces, but you got 90, say, plus or minus. And I noticed you got 49 teachers. Is that total staff or is it another?
No, plus
The state of operations indicates 49 teachers.
Plus 20.
Plus 20 upstairs.
Okay, so that leaves 45 spaces. Now, those spaces are only going to be used for drop off and pickup.
correct.
You also said we got 482 students.
282.
Oh, 208.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Big diff.
Okay, it's even 280.
Project just got halved.
And they're staggered, the times are staggered.
And there's, okay,
Yes.
thank you. That's what I was trying to find.
Yes,
That upstairs will only be used for school personnel.
administrative and
Only
storage
school,
only.
no
No-
separate offices.
No third
No
party
third
uses
party uses.
at all, no.
Thank you.
There's no basement, so that space is for
We
storage.
were happy. Anything more?
Okay, we'll call
Okay,
the architect.
we'll move to the architect.
You know, if you could just wrap up just the waivers, just what waivers that we currently have after all that.
You want to just summarize the waivers?
The waivers that the applicant seeks would be 244197J1C,
The driveway design? Yeah.
the driveway design, correct?
Parking.
244197I1,
The handicap stall?
the parking at in the front. The traffic expert hasn't spoken to yet, but the applicant is seeking the 244197J regarding the entrance drive and exit drive and utilization of the required entrance and exit drives. Regarding landscaping as discussed, 244193B regarding the buffer area. The applicant is not seeking a design waiver from a loading area. 244193C related regarding the screening width. And those are the design waivers that the
Okay.
applicant is seeking.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more time, architect.
Well, try again.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Miriam Davis, Davis, licensed architect in the state of New Jersey. These plans were prepared under my supervision, and I have testified before this board before.
Okay, and the board accepts your credentials?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And you submitted in advance of the hearing colored renderings, I believe, elevations, and then a floor plan?
Yes, we have
Okay.
the full architectural plan set as well as the building rendering.
Okay, so which one do you want, Anthony?
We
to
could
pull up?
start, Anthony, could you pull up the architectural plan set, please?
And we're up to A4, according to my notes. Anthony, it's the third page of the exhibit set.
I think that's the rendering. I think we could pull up the plan set first.
I give up. So, I don't know. Do you have the architectural set there, Anthony? So pull up whatever you have architecturally and we'll work around it. We have the handout.
While we're waiting, may I ask a question?
Sure.
I was looking for a nurse's office. Is there one?
We have two offices. I think we have two offices shown on the floor plan. I'm not sure if the applicant wanted one designated as a nurse's office, but if that's something that they're going to include in the program, we definitely have the office space for it on the first floor.
Is that required by the state?
I'm not sure from a
I'm
license.
not,
sure
I'm
if
not
it's-
certain either, but it seems that I was a teacher for a long time. I also have 5 children and 13 grandchildren, so I know about kids and sick.
I don't believe it's a licensing requirement. Based on the daycares I've done and the Chapter 52 requirements from New Jersey, I haven't seen a requirement for a nurse's office,
Just wondering.
but I think we can provide if that's that.
Yeah, if it's, we have the room.
Designate one, and then, if you need it, you have it.
Okay, we have A4, which is the architectural plan set, correct?
Yes.
What sheet do you want?
Well, we'll start from this one. So just to give a brief overview, the project consists of a new construction 2-story slab on grade daycare on South New Prospect Road. The gross floor area of the first floor is 18,338 square feet. The area of the attic second floor area is 9,450 square feet. If we could skip 2 sheets to the first floor plan. So we have the main building entrance located at the front of the building. We come into a vestibule and a double height lobby with the admissions office located right over here. We have 18 classrooms on the first floor. Each classroom has 2 emergency exits, a closet, and a sink. One of the questions in the review letters was regarding the extra doors that you see on the front. So each classroom by building code is required to have the 2 doors. Any door that is located in a parking area will have a hardwired alarm for safety for the kids. We have 2 indoor play areas, a small teacher's room, staff bathrooms, children's bathrooms. We have supply closets. And then there are the main access points to the play area. We have the 3 double doors that lead to the play area, as well as the classrooms that are located adjacent to the courtyard have the direct access from the classrooms themselves. Additionally, we have the 2 staircases leading to the second floor, as well as an elevator. We have some sprinkler room and some mechanical space. We could go now to the next sheet, the second floor. So as testified by Mr. Halpert, the second floor will not serve the children. It will only be used for staff and storage purposes. We have 3 offices, a teacher's room, break room, and the rest is used as storage and mechanical spaces. There are also 4 staff bathrooms as well as 2 stairs and an elevator. If we could go to the next sheet, the roof plan. Thank you. So the roof is a mansard roof. We have 2 depressed flat portions that will serve for the mechanical rooftop units. The mansard parapet will continue around the flat portions to shield the rooftop units from the exterior. Yeah. It's a little light. Yeah. We could go to the next sheet, which is the elevations.
But wait, for the roof, will it be built to accommodate solar if it's feasible?
Yes, the roof will be solar ready.
Thank you. And this is the same plan set, the elevation?
Yeah, same plan set. The proposed building height measured to the, I'm going to revise it. It shows 21 feet on the elevations, which we measured to the average roof line, but considering we're using that space for an attic, we actually gave a revised building height of 28 feet measured to the top of the attic roof. The first floor has a floor-to-floor height of 14 feet, and the second floor has a floor-to-floor height of 14 feet. The ceiling height will be about 10 feet. If we can now pull up the exhibit with the building rendering, which I think is page 3 of the exhibit set. So the exterior of the building was designed to complement the neighboring sites with the use of traditional materials and roof lines. We have a mix of brick veneer, 2 different color brick veneers, and a stucco. There's a stucco trim that separates the brick veneer water table from the stucco above. The front elevation also includes decorative columns as well as dormers with windows that will bring light into the second floor area. The building signage, which is the address sign located at the main building entrance, complies with the ordinance sign size. Some general information. We have the proposed building will be type VB, which is an unprotected wood building. We will have a sprinkler system and fire alarm system throughout the building. There's an elevator that connects the 2 stories. There are a minimum of 2 means of egress at each level. And the amount of children will be 282 children with 69 staff members spread across the 2 floors.
That's all we have of the architect, Madam Chair.
Any questions from the architect from the board?
I have
Come on.
one question on the food prep area. What's going to happen in that room?
Which area?
Food prep, second floor, attic floor?
Yeah, I think we were it's all staff areas.
It's like a lunchroom for the staff,
A lunchroom.
right? Correct?
It's different than a prep room.
It's not a
Prep room-
kitchen for preparing.
No,
food
it's not a
for the day.
kitchen. I think it was just, we could,
Do we get definition on that?
We just got to confirm the food prep, yeah. Right. Right. So there's no food prep, just warming. Lunch, food is delivered on site.
And warmed up in the food prep kitchen?
if needed. Stored, more for storage, but if needed, to be warmed up.
So you're going to have equipment in there
No commercial kitchen equipment.
to warm it up?
Warmers.
Refrigerator?
Oh, you're gonna have
Refrigerator,
warmers?
warmer, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the applicant will stipulate to that?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Ms. Davis, thank you for your testimony. I get to ask this question all the time. Your design was for a single user,
Correct.
daycare only?
Correct.
And that's your understanding of the intent of the applicant?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Mr. Klee? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And last is John here? Oh,
Oh,
he is.
here we are.
John sleeps here.
He has a room in the back.
Yeah. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
John Ray, REA, professional engineer with McDonough and Ray Associates.
I think the board can.
I'd say welcome, as
Thank you.
usual.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ray, you know what to do.
We prepared a traffic impact analysis for the project. As Mr. Halpert testified to, South New Prospect Road is under the jurisdiction of Ocean County. We've applied to the Ocean County Planning Board for approval for the access that you see on the plan, which is a two-way access, full turning movements at the north end of the property and a right turn entrance only at the south end of the property. The county has conceptually approved the access, subject to us doing some minimal widening on our side of South New Prospect Road so that we can extend the three-lane cross-section, which I believe is shown on Mr. Halpert's plan. So the county is ultimately going to restripe South New Prospect Road so that we have one northbound lane, one southbound lane, and a center turn lane for turning movements onto and off this property. And if there's any driveways across the street, it would function as a benefit for them as well. As far as the levels of service are concerned, we did our usual, we projected traffic volumes out to a design year of 2036. That's in accordance with the County Planning Board protocol. We included the NJDOT's background traffic growth rate data for the area. And there are two other projects in the area that we were familiar with. We did the traffic studies. There is a shoal that is under construction right now just south of us. I think Mr. Halpert mentioned that. There was at one point in time the possibility of maybe routing our traffic through the shoal out to the traffic light. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for the reasons that Mr. Halpert testified to. But we did include the traffic from the shoal. There's also a mikveh that is under construction on the diagonally across the intersection where I believe the dental offices used to be. We did that traffic study as well. We included the traffic study from the mikveh, the shoal, and we did the NJDOT's background traffic growth rate data to project traffic volumes to a design year of 2036. Considering all of that traffic, the off-site, the signalized intersection at South New Prospect and Wood Lane will operate at level of service C for the morning and afternoon peak hours. The exiting traffic from our driveway north of the intersection will operate at level of service D, as in David, during the AM peak street hour, and C, as in Charlie, during the PM peak street hour. And that's primarily because the morning peak hour traffic volumes on South New Prospect are a little bit higher than the afternoon peak hour traffic volumes. One of the things that we did have to do in order to prepare for tonight's meeting was Mr. Michael Angelostro from Mr. Peters' office. He is their traffic engineer at Remington and Vernick. He had called me last week and he was reviewing my traffic study and he said, John, it appears as though you did your traffic generation numbers for 228 children instead of 282. I went back, I double checked. He was absolutely correct. So I had to go back and recalculate the traffic generation numbers for 282 students instead of 228. And as it turns out, there's some additional delay associated with the exiting movements at the South New Prospect as a result of the increase in enrollment, but we still will operate at an acceptable level of service D during the morning peak hour and C during the afternoon peak hour. With respect to the parking, we do have a substantial surplus of parking as far as what the township requires. If I'm not mistaken, the township requires 54 spaces and we're providing 95, although it appears as though we're going to lose a few parking spaces to provide better access for fire vehicles. And I never argue with a client when they want to provide some additional parking spaces. So if we have to lose a couple of parking spaces for Mr. Halpert to revise the plans, maybe relocate the dumpster, and also provide a turnaround area or a larger area for the fire trucks to put the outriggers out, we can do that. We can afford to lose a couple of parking spaces and we will still have adequate parking. So on balance, if I'm not mistaken, we've been working on this plan with Mr. Halpert for probably 2 years now. We've made some changes to the plan. We've tried to respond to the professionals' reports to the best ability that we could, and I think we've succeeded in doing that. And I think the plan that is in front of the board is a safe and efficient plan. It's got adequate parking, proper circulation, and with the county improvements, doing the widening to provide for the 3-lane cross-section, I think we will be able to operate safely and efficiently for that 2036 design year that the county makes us take a look at.
One follow-up question. You heard the suggestion from the board professionals about providing the access easements on either side of the drive aisle. Does that in any way impact your testimony?
No, that's a good suggestion. I always like the easements to connect properties. I just went back and started thinking of, everybody knows where the Costco is on Route 70 in Brick. You can get all the way from the Panera, which is down by the Wawa, you can get all the way out to Chirac Street because the parking lots are all interconnected. So we don't have a problem with that.
That's all we have, Mr. Ray.
Any questions from the board? From our professionals?
Mr. Ray, thank you for going over the trip generations between the two reports. I appreciate that. The 2-way access on the north or west side of the project, given that it looks like 60% of the traffic would make a right coming out, is there any thought given to having a designated right turn lane out? Because the only way to make a left is out of that intersection, correct? Or that access.
The county hasn't asked for it, but I will turn to Mr. Halpert. Can we do a little widening on that driveway at the north end, Ellie, and provide maybe a separate right and left turn lane? It looks like there's no reason why we couldn't do it. It would be subject to we're looking at right in this area right here, doing a little widening.
Your trip distribution shows 40% going
Yeah.
to the top of the page, 40% going to the bottom of the page, and 20%
Subject
going
to the
over towards
county's
Wood
approval.
Lane.
Yeah, right in this, adding a
Somewhat.
right turn lane in here.
Yeah, we'll just add 8 feet there maybe, 8 or 12.
I think we can do that, right, Ellie? Subject to the county's approval.
Yes.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Excellent. All right.
I'd like to make a motion to open this application to cross-examination from the public. Sullivan?
Second, Heller?
Now, for this portion, we have 2 public portions. The first portion is you come forward and you ask specific questions of the lady and gentleman who gave testimonies and receive those answers. Then we close that portion, and then there is a portion for just your opinion generally and general questions. So if anyone has any specific questions for the applicant at this time, please come forward.
Carlos Martins, Jackson. I'm on the zoning board.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. And your name and information for the record. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So Carlos Martins, Jackson, New Jersey. I'm on the zoning board, but I'm here as a resident.
Just to be clear, you're here in your individual capacity,
In
not
my
as a
individual
representative
capacity as a resident.
of the zoning board.
Yes.
And if this, for any reason, would ever come before the zoning board, you must recuse yourself from the zoning board, just so you're clear.
All right, then I'm not going. Yeah, okay. I don't care. Yeah. That's fine.
Because if you're asking questions here
Okay.
that could prejudice your opinion when you get there,
That would be right.
I just want you to be cautious, that's all.
Okay, okay.
Keep
I
that-
will recuse myself because I came up anyway, so, okay, that's fine. I
It's
will
just a
recuse
thought
myself.
that-
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you. I don't want to get in trouble.
Trying to help you out here.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so I understand this is question time, right? So, and basically, I'm going to piggyback off 2 things that you mentioned. So the nursing office,
We checked.
yes,
So-
the nursing office, right?
So if you wanted cross-examination time, if you want to ask them questions.
I am.
Yeah.
So that nursing office, so the way I see a nursing, will it include any kind of medical supplies, will you have a nurse there?
Whatever the state requires is what we're going to provide. I'm not sure what the licensing criteria.
Correct.
We may have an answer,
We-
Mr.
yeah,
Shea?
So-
We do.
So the department, the DCF does not require nursing facilities in daycares, that the state regulations. With that being said, the applicant has stipulated as a condition of approval that they're going to supply one, that they're going to have a nursing room. And I'm assuming that that stipulation is going to be subject to them having the requirements to treat children,
Yeah. Okay,
So,
thank you.
my
Yeah, that was
thought
really
is-
my question was, because office, you think,
Well, my thought is,
Typewriter or
Band-Aids and a
Yeah.
refrigerator
Yeah, I mean,
for
if the kid gets a
epinephrine
scraped
pens
foot
and
or-
EpiPens and that kind of
right,
thing.
first aids,
Right.
things like that.
But we're not
Okay.
going to have a full-time
No.
nurse on staff
Nope.
unless the state requires it. They'll have a
Okay.
room with the supplies and the staff is trained to handle anything other than serious issues, which they'll have to call first aid for.
Okay, great. So that was clarification. Thank you. And the other question was really, again, to piggyback. So, the workers, they're probably, some of them are gonna work overtime and they'll be there. The 6 PM shutting off the lights just seems a little early to me, especially in the winter time. If anyone's
4:30.
gonna work overtime.
It closes, the facility closes at 4:30.
Oh, so even the workers can't be there and work overtime or whatever?
Well,
Or
they'll be
again,
there
safety.
till 6. Yeah. So
Six,
Yeah.
till
Oh.
6.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's it. I just wanted.
Anyone else? Specific questions?
Seeing no one else come forward, I move to close the public cross-examination on this application. Sullivan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public comment section on this application and this application only. Sullivan.
Second, Heller?
Anyone like to come forward and make any comment at all about this particular project?
Seeing no one come forward, I'd like to make a motion to close the public comment section on this application. Sullivan.
Second, Heller?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Would you like to conclude?
No, just, I think this is a really great plan. I think we've worked with everyone to come up with a better plan. We'll address all the comments we've indicated, and we request that the board act favorably on the application, subject to all the conditions we've stipulated.
Any comments from our professionals?
Yeah, I'll sum up what's before. So this application is permitted conditional use. As the experts have indicated, the conditions have been met, but they're seeking 4 design waivers. Just so the board is clear, the design waiver standard is 40:55D-51. You can grant waivers a couple of different ways. First, if it's reasonable in nature and consistent with the intent of the ordinance. Second, if the enforcement is literally impractical. Or third, if the undue hardship exists because of the condition of the land itself. So that is the legal standard, and that's what the board has to weigh.
All right, we'll look for a motion then, please.
I'd like to make a motion, based on our professionals concurring with the applicant, that they met all the conditional uses without no questions. I think that's important. The various stipulations they've gone through with fire and everything we asked, I think that's a plus. Plus the waivers, I think, are very minimal and more than required, as our attorney described. So with that, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion. Sullivan.
We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Brezzi.
Yes.
Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Parks.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Santoro.
Yes.
Mr. Tremor.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Dr. Camp.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And our next application is block 1102, lot 24.02, with block 1101, lot 34.
Hang on. Mintzberg? Yeah.
Oh, did I do the wrong, oh, I did next month's? Take me back to this one. Oh, okay.
If we could
Block
take a couple of minute-
8901.
We'll take a couple minute break and then we'll come back.
We'll take a minute, we'll take 5 minutes, only 5. Thank you. Yeah, I think we have to make a motion to come out.
I'd like to make a motion to bring the meeting back to order. Sullivan?
Second, Helen.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Alfieri?
Which one are we starting on?
Well, let's see. On the agenda, it's Willow Drive.
Willow Drive, okay.
But if that's not convenient for you, feel free to start with Magnolia. It
We don't-
really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to us either, we're same people, same,
Yeah, right.
so,
Willow.
okay. So this is a minor subdivision application. We have two witnesses to present. We have our engineer, Mr. Samat, and then we have a planner, since there is variance relief associated with each application, but particularly the Willow one. So we ask that Mr. Samat be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Charles Sermont, S-U-R-M-O-N-T-E.
Testifying as a fact witness?
Yes, Mr. Samat, would you place your credentials on the record, please?
Certainly. I'm a licensed professional engineer and land surveyor, have been licensed as both for over 30 years now. I've been in my own employ for the last 26 years. And back in the
where
day, I used
is
to come
that?
to this board. I haven't been here in a while, but 15, 20 years ago, I used to come here.
Where is your,
My office is located in Allenhurst.
okay,
I
thank
do
you.
most of my work in Monmouth and Northern Ocean County.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Samat, your office prepared the subdivision plan that's before the board this evening?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess, are we going to start with the aerial exhibit that's up on the screen now? Is that, oh, that's not yours. So where's
Mm-mm.
your plan? Let's get, Anthony, is there a second sheet or exhibit? Okay. Okay, so A1, this is the subdivision plan that you submitted in support of the application, correct?
Yes.
Okay, describe for the board how this property is being subdivided, proposed.
Okay, the subject property has an area of just under 2 acres, 1.97 acres. Presently existing is a single-family house favoring the left side of the property. Property has 209 feet of frontage and a depth of about 800 feet. We're proposing to subdivide the property into 2 equal lots, relatively equal lots. One lot is to be an even acre, the other lot is to be just about 150 square feet short of that. The existing house, as I mentioned, on the left side of the lot, is proposed to remain under the current application, and we've crafted the lot line in such a manner to respect the side yard setback of 25 feet for that house, and then still provide enough of a building envelope for the proposed lot to the right. The lot to the left will have 100 feet of frontage. The lot on the right will have 109 feet of frontage. And obviously, these properties are pretty remote, so there is no public sewer. They'll each be served by septic and well.
The existing home does have variance relief associated with it, does it not? The front yard?
It does. You want me to go through each one?
Yeah, well, just to orient them, and Mr. Takina will do that in more detail, but the existing home, whatever front yard variance relief associated with that would remain. But
Well, the existing home actually does comply to the front yard. It is 84 feet,
Okay, I'm
85
sorry.
feet back.
the proposed,
It'll have a side yard setback relief and other relief related to the size of the lot.
okay. And we'll leave the balance of the planning testimony to Mr. Takina. I guess there's really no engineering other than I'm not sure who it was. Mr. Peters raises a question about an apparent gore that might exist?
Yeah, it's an interesting, and we fought with this for months to try to figure out what was going on. Along the left side of the property is a gore about 15 feet wide. Basically an area where neither our property or the property to the left has title to that property. It's evident from the location of the driveway serving our house that that gore has been utilized by the subject property for a considerable amount of time. And I am going to recommend to the applicant, we have already, that he seek whatever the most appropriate legal means, maybe a quiet title action or some other means with which to obtain a clear title to that property. It's an additional, it's about 12,000 square feet. So it would increase that lot from 1 acre to about 1.2.
And is it that
1.25
gray
acres.
area that I'm highlighting here?
Yes, that's that hatched area running all the way up the left side of the property.
And that area is not counted in your lot classifications
It's
tonight,
not.
correct? So that would just add additional square footage if legal title were ever obtained.
And if we cannot get clear title to that property, we would then relocate the driveway.
All right, I think that's all we have from the engineer, Madam Chair.
So just to be clear, the application is going to be conditional upon getting clear title on that,
Or to relocate the driveway if we can't
or
get clear
to
title.
relocate the driveway.
Where would the second home be located? Where on this property?
Right there. Feet back from the road. Or back from the right of way.
Any questions from the board about this?
I'm just curious about the timeline for that driveway. If you're able to get clean title on that.
Well, we would move on it as soon as we resolve this application.
Yeah, and the municipal land use law requires that we perfect the subdivision within 190 days of the approval. So the goal would be to have that resolved before the expiration of the 190 days, or we'd have to come back here for an extension.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ordinance requires a 3-acre lot in this area.
Yes,
We're proposing 2 1-acre lots.
yes.
Is there a compelling reason for us to consider doing something?
That's the planner's job. He's
That's the
next.
planner's job.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll save Mr. Samad from that one.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Simon, thank you for your testimony. I see for the existing utilities, at house number 156, we show the existing well up front and clean out and a couple utility vaults in the back.
Yep.
I guess I need it to be part of the record that should the board approve this subdivision, it does not in any way grant you relief from getting the outside agency approval of the Ocean County Health Department as it relates to the existing location of utilities on proposed lot 502 for house number 156. If somehow when you go out there and we figure out where the actual septic system is and it's too close to the property line, the board's not authorized to grant that relief. So without that information, I think the best the board can ask for is that, assuming the board were to act in the affirmative on the application, make it a condition of the approval. Because we don't show the offsets from the well, we don't show the actual limits of the septic system, and we don't show an approval from the county health department for the location of either as it relates to the proposed subdivision line.
Yes, I understand that. And if the existing septic system does not lie within a conforming location on the proposed lot, that septic system would be reconstructed, relocated.
Thank you. That's all, Madam Chair.
Just to follow up on the whole septic system issue, the existing dwelling that's connected to a septic system and the new lot's going to be connected to the septic system.
I'm sorry, say that again?
They're both going to be on septic systems.
Yes.
Right. Any thought on why that if you had public sewer, you could go down to an acre? You know, the reason, and it might be more for the planner, but you know, the
In
reason.
general?
I'm sorry?
Is that a general question or, I'm sorry?
Just your thoughts on why in the R3, it's 130,000 square foot, but if you were connected to public sewer, you could go down to an acre. Why?
Well, or you can look at the alternative, we're actually in the R1, which permits an acre, but not having septic requires 3. I don't know. We've done a considerable amount of lots in other towns on properties less than 1 acre.
Sir, excuse me, sir, could you speak into the microphone?
And been able to obviously comply with either county or local Board of Health regulations. I mean, philosophically, I suppose that the township perhaps thought there was a water quality consideration, or perhaps just wanted to control density and obviously focus the higher densities in areas that were served by sewer.
Okay, thank you. I would agree with the water quality. I think that requirement has to do with, and it's more Pinelands related, that we're used to nitrogen nitrate dilution at the property line. In the Pinelands, and this is not Pinelands, you could go, minimum is 3.2 acres for a lot, unless you have an alternate design septic system that lets you go down to an acre.
Which we intend on installing the alternate
On
design.
the new lot, as well as you're going to redo the.
Well, if we have to reconstruct on the existing lot, it would be.
Okay. So both lots are going to have alternate design septic systems meeting the Pineland standards.
If
Yeah,
the existing lot needs a new septic, it would be.
But how would you decide if it doesn't need a new septic? I mean, I'm saying you have 2 acres for one standard septic system. And now you're proposing 2 lots, an acre apiece, but one is going to have an alternate design and one's going to have a regular. I think they both should be regular. I'm sorry, both should be special design.
Okay,
I could sense that's what you were trying to say.
so that's
And
fine.
I think
That's
that might
fine.
help the planner as far as positive criteria.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all.
Mr. Alfieri, could you give me an idea of the properties that are adjacent and existing around
the
this
pla- the
area?
planner-
Would the
Planner's
planner
gonna- if
do
he has
that?
an aerial, he'll do that, yes.
Okay, great. That'll help. Thank you.
So just circling back to that septic system condition of approval, let's figure out how to word that.
So we're going to provide the alternate septic design, septic system for both lots.
Regardless of whether it's conforming or not.
Correct.
All right.
But they'll both be conforming, obviously.
Yeah.
Mr. Klee, further?
And you'll contribute to the pedestrian safety fund for the waiver of curb and sidewalk.
For the sidewalk, yes.
Thank you.
If the board grants the waiver.
Okay.
Okay, we'll bring the
Thank you.
planner up.
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Swearing in.
Long time no see. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
My name is John Tykina, T as in Thomas, A-I, K as in Kelly, I-N as in Nicholas A. I am a licensed planner in the state of New Jersey. I am also the principal of all things planning and development at 900 Main Street in Belmar, New Jersey, the one in Monmouth County, not the one in Camden County. I've been licensed since I finished my studies at Rutgers University in 1992. Last 33 years, I've been doing this, testifying before planning and zoning boards around the state and across the country on behalf of applicants just like this. I was last here in 2024. It's nice to be back.
Welcome.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. Thank you.
The board accepts his credentials.
We do.
Thank you. So John, you understand there's various bulk variance relief associated with the proposed subdivision, and I'd like you to show and you're going to bring up this exhibit, which is, can you identify it before you begin your testimony?
Certainly. So we have an exhibit that consists of 2 pages. The first page is a 300-foot radius map overview. This would be A2.
Yes.
And then we have a second page to that exhibit, if you could please, Anthony. I'm sorry, you need to go to the third page. Oh, no, that's the right one. Nope, I'm sorry, that was the right one. Thank you. Page 2 is the 300-foot radius map overview for lots 4 and 5 at 156 Willow Drive. Correct?
That's what we're doing now,
Correct.
yes.
Okay, make sure we got it right.
So, so which exhibit we doing first?
We can stay on A3, actually.
Okay, thanks.
I like it. It's more specific to this application.
So explain to the board the variance relief and the justification for the C variance approvals.
Certainly. So we do have it's always nice working with Mr. Samant. He gets the facts on the record very well for me. So we do have a 1.97 acre lot located in the R1 residential district. It is on the kind of the west side of Willow Drive. We have a preserved, we have a farm qualified property to our northwest, kind of towards the top of the exhibit. And then the balance of the properties surrounding us on the to the east and then to the south are single-family homes that are located on lots of different sizes. Madam Chair, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to answer it in the context of the negative criteria, so it's a little further into my presentation, if that's okay.
That's fine. Thank you.
So we are here for two different types of bulk variances, if you will. There are 2 types. We have some C1 variances, and they are variances that relate specifically to the size and shape or specific conditions of the property and the structures that are legally established thereon. So in this case, they're what I would call the existing condition variances. And we do have existing condition variances that are there based on where the house is today and where it relates and where it is in relation to our side lot line. So, for example, our side lot line to the left of the house is deficient at, let me get the number right, is deficient at 11.1. I have it, 11.1 feet for the side yard for the house itself, and then we also have an existing nonconformity for the detached garage, which is at 37.5 feet, and then where it exists, and then we're also reducing that with the subdivision line to 23.9 feet. So in terms of the existing conditions, they only relate to the sideline to the left of the drawing or to the left of the plan, if we go back to A1. The new variances are what we'll call C2 variances. And they're going to be the flexible C or where the benefits of granting the variance outweigh any detriment that may be imposed. So the board has some certain findings they need to make. First and foremost, that they relates to a specific piece of property. Granting relief on this property doesn't relate to any other application. There's no precedence that carries forward. So it's only the unique conditions that are present here. Secondly, we'll want to be advancing some of the purposes of zoning. Third, we will want to talk about either there being a hardship in terms of the existing conditions, or that we have the benefits outweighing the detriments overall in terms of the plan. And then finally, as with all of your relief, you have the negative criteria. Are we having a substantial negative impact to the public good or to our neighbors, to the surrounding area? And are we having a substantial impairment to your zone plan and your master plan? And that's where we start to talk about what's around us, okay, and how it relates within the R1 district. So first and foremost, this does relate specifically to 156 Willow Drive. It's no other property. It's only this property, no other. In terms of purposes of zoning that we're advancing, I'd submit to you that there are three. Purpose E, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, and communities, and the preservation of the environment. We believe these single-family homes are consistent with the R1 residential district. They're consistent with the R1 density, and they are consistent with the prevailing neighborhood characteristics in terms of lot size and lot frontage. By creating conforming building envelopes that can be reasonably developed without overburdening the site and or overburdening surrounding properties. So in general, we're providing for compliant setbacks for everything else. In terms of the R1, for the new home, we are not complying with the R3 standard. And again, that's kind of, we're bouncing back and forth between the two, because in the R1, where we don't have water and sewer, we're required to go to the R3 standard, to the larger 3-acre and 80-foot front yard setback. Second one is purpose G, to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for a variety of uses according to their respective environmental requirements to meet the needs of New Jersey citizens. We think by utilizing the existing residential lot within the developed neighborhood, rather than expanding out into the hinterlands, it's more environmentally sensitive. By continuing a pattern of residential infill development in an area that's already characterized by similar uses, and I'd submit to you that this pattern is much more consistent with the surrounding neighborhood, and we are maintaining adequate space for on-site improvements, including wells, septic systems, and any stormwater management that is necessary. And as we already talked about, Mr. Peters and Mr. Cleve appropriately pointed out, this board doesn't grant any relief or any waiver from the county health standards. So we need to provide for compliant septic systems. We need to provide for wells that are in appropriate and in appropriate locations. So having a 1-acre lot doesn't obviate us from any of those requirements. And we believe they can be accommodated on the lot, as Mr. Samant testified. Particularly not being in the Pinelands areas, there's more than enough room on the lots to be able to have these improvements. Again, it's just a little bit of a policy decision that was made within your R1 district where you don't have sewer, to kind of go against what the prevailing development is. And then finally, purpose M, to encourage the coordination of the various public and private procedures affecting land development with a view towards lessening the cost of such development to the more efficient use of the land. So again, we think it's more efficient to use an already developed parcel with access to Magnolia Drive. This is going to require the extension of new infrastructure into undeveloped areas. And again, we have to still comply with all the various requirements, whether it be county subdivision or county health in terms of water and septic.
Did you say I? Which letter was that?
E, G, and M.
M. Okay, gotcha.
So in terms of the variances that we have, again, let me okay, we're on A3, right? So looking at A3, we did an analysis of the 18 lots that surround us in terms of their overall development. And what we found is that more than half of them do not meet the 3 acres. There are actually only 1, 2, 3, 4 that do out of the 18. And they range in size from 0.3 acres up to 6.2 acres. And then we have one 37.81 acre lot. That is the lot that is the farm property that is up to our northwest. But when we look at the properties that are immediately around us, they are predominantly 1.5. They're probably 1 to 1.5 acres in size. We do have the one at 166 Willow Drive that's on 0.3 acres. And that is lot. I have my wrong list. I apologize. That is lot 18 across the street. It's all the way up to the top. Yeah, the corner lot right across the street. I'm sorry. It's right on the corner there. That lot is only 0.3 acres. That is immediately across the street, kind of at the intersection of the street and the lot line to the adjacent farm parcel. So that's the very small one is actually literally right next to us. So again, by showing this range of lots that is there, it is very prevalent in the area. The prevailing neighborhood pattern is more accurately reflected as 0.69 acres to 1.96 acres, and to the average lot size across all parcels is 1.74 acres. So especially when you take out the outliers, the 37 acre and the 2.6 acres, we get down to lots that are really 1 to 1.5 acres. So there was a question that was asked before about if something is done here, doesn't that cascade down to everybody else being able to do it? And first and foremost, every case stands by itself, but there really aren't other 2-acre parcels that are in the neighborhood. There's a 37-acre parcel, there's 2 6-acre parcels, and then the rest of the parcels are, 1.69 acres and 1.5 acres, et cetera. So it's really not leading to, opening the Pandora's box, if you will, to a whole bunch of more subdivisions. Again, this lot is really the outlier on Willow, being at 2 acres. Now, we recognize that it is a bit of a strange shape, and because of its strange shape, we're asking to place it closer to the street at 40 feet, which again is a conforming setback in terms of the R1, and a setback that is consistent with some of the homes that are along the road there. So the homes that are along the road there, the older homes, which are probably 25 or 30 years old, are closer to the street at the 40 or 50-foot setback. And then the newer homes that are somewhat larger are set back significantly more. They'd be back at 100 feet or 125 feet even. So there's definitely a range in setback as they go across the neighborhood based on when they were built. So if they were built, 30 years ago or 25 years ago, they're at 40 or 50 feet. The newer homes are set back much more from the road than would be there. So in terms of our negative criteria, again, we think that because of the prevailing neighborhood pattern, there isn't going to be any detriment to having these homes there. We'll make sure that we meet the environmental requirements in terms of our wells. We'll have our new septic system, the new enhanced septic system. Am I saying that the right way? The new enhanced septic systems to be able to be there so that we meet the highest environmental standards. And again, we have the ability to provide for new homes on the street that'll, again, help to spur, hopefully, some additional investment by folks in the neighborhood. And then finally, the second prong is no variance will be granted if it impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan. So in terms of your 25 master plan, you actually talked about the R1 standards. And one of the things that you talked about is that the sections in the land use development regulations that deal with bulk and area standards for the R1 cause some confusion. For example, section 244-47 of the regulations indicate that all new lots created by subdivision shall comply with R3 unless connected to a public sewer. Additionally, in addition, would have to comply with the R3 standards. This can lead to homeowner confusion and expense. The standards should be reviewed and streamlined for ease of understanding by the general public. That's the recommendation out of your master plan that kind of recognizes this juxtaposition between an R1 zone that has R3 standards that leads to kind of a disparity of land use treatment across similar properties. And it's a challenge that's recognized in your master plan because it becomes an issue on the street. How come that guy got to build to 25 feet and I have to build to 50 feet or wherever the case may be. So your master plan recognized that and said, maybe we want to, take a look at this. Now, again, that was only in 2025, so it's only 2026. You haven't had necessarily had a chance to be able to do that. Again, I think the basic premise is we have an R1 district that provides for 1 acre lots. The septic system, the premise in 2010 was that if you're not going to have sewer, you're going to have a bigger lot. And that might have been a broad policy of thinking I need more land for a septic system. And in 2026, now the answer is an enhanced septic system that has the ability to, again, be a new and improved technology that wasn't available in 2010. That gives us the ability to have 1 acre lots that are more consistent from a land use standpoint with our surrounding neighbors, give us the high quality water quality treatment that we need, but allow us to provide for a neighborhood that is somewhat cohesive in terms of how it is addressed from a land use standpoint. So I think overall, we have the ability to make the requisite findings. It relates to this property only on Willow Drive. With this surrounding land use pattern that is prevailing at 1 to 1.5 acres in terms of lots, has a disparity of a diversity, if you will, of front setbacks. And again, we have the ability to address the environmental conditions in terms of the enhanced standards of the county health department in terms of an enhanced septic system. So with all those things, I think we have the ability to provide for a more coherent land use policy. And again, your land use policy should be consistent across relatively consistent properties. And again, because we have, as I said, 13 of the 17, approximately 76% within the 300 feet are consistent with this 1 to 1.5 acres, we think it's appropriate and the board can make the requisite findings to grant the relief. I'm available for your questions.
Mr. Alfieri may remember that Mr. Heller and I are highly involved in the master plan. And our concern in the R1 and the R3 requirements were that we're concerned about density and we're concerned about septic systems, no matter how advanced they are. Plus, we're concerned about the size of the homes that are being built. And if you could say to me, oh, well, we're going to build homes that are similar to the homes that are on Willow, I might feel a little more secure. However, these days, we're not building ranches and bi-levels on these pieces of property. So we're building homes that have 8, 10 bedrooms, big homes.
Agreed. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, that's fine. That, though, I just wanted to express my concern, the concern we had. Yeah.
I know. I'm usually pretty good about waiting. So, and I only want to, because I'm like, oh, wait, I can answer that one. So and the size and shape, I'm sorry, Anthony, can we go back to A1? The size and shape of the property that we have here ends up, could you zoom in on the bottom, please? He does such a good job because I'm like, I never let anybody touch my exhibits. So because of the unique shape of the property, we end up with a very restricted building envelope. So we can't build a 10-bedroom house. We're proposing a house that is 2,600 square feet in terms of footprint. So again, it's not a very large home. The home sizes in the area, and we had them off the tax records, they do range from as small as 780 square feet all the way up to 2,600 square feet. But again, because of the limited building envelope that we have, we can't build a big home. We can't build a big enough rectangle.
And the home, I'm just very familiar with that area and that street. The home, it says it's a one-story dwelling, but it's really not a one-story dwelling. It's really a first floor, and then the back is level with the ground. So it's really a two-story building. It's not really a one-story building. The driveway, the garage goes down and underneath.
Oh, the existing home, yes.
Yes, the existing home.
Oh, no,
So
absolutely. It
that's
takes
a
advantage.
two-story dwelling.
No.
You call it a one-story, but it's really a two-story dwelling.
It's one from the front, two from the,
Two from the back.
Yeah, two from the back.
And you would look at possibly a two-story dwelling.
I would expect it to be 2 stories.
I would expect. I just wanted to explain and for the board to understand that we specifically did that with the R1, with the requirements for R3 for 2 reasons. One was the density, a concern that we have in town, and the other is for the septic, the situations where there are no city water, no city sewer, and that's in that area.
Understood.
Just to make it clear.
It's just so discongruous with the existing development pattern.
I'd like to jump in on a conversation about septics in the R3, probably going back a little further than Dr. Campbell just went. I was involved in 2010 master plan. I was involved in the master plan before that. I was involved in master plans in this town when you were going with tier levels before. So we're going back a few years. The R3s were kept specifically, one for density, but more importantly for the nitrates in the ground from septic systems. That's why we kept them. Where there was no 208 possible, they were not part of the 208 system from the MUA, we kept them R3s for those reasons. That's why the septics have been a big consideration. I do realize these new systems are different and can do more, but that was the original way for the last 30 or so years. These R3s stayed in. They don't, if you look at the maps, the 208s are not by them. They can't hook up the sewer, and that's why they're done.
Understood.
And I'd just like to say, I think, once again, I want to applaud the Master Plan Committee and the 2 members of it that are here with us tonight. And thank you, Madam Chairwoman, for bringing up a very good point about density, about what will happen with the nitrates in the land, as Mr. Brezzi said. And when you look at it, what are we going to have here? You're going to have a 2-story house, possibly with a finished basement. When you add that kind of square footage on a lot that is not conforming to R3, I have a lot of concerns here, or R1.
I have a question. Are these homes to be rentals?
I don't,
Are these homes to be rentals?
I'm the new home, no, I don't know what the existing home, the intent is on the existing home.
So the property owner lives in the existing home?
No, the property owner, it's currently a rental, the existing home.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you. So potential is for 2 rental homes here.
No, the intent is the new home would be built and sold.
So it'd be 1 rental and a sale.
Yeah, and they may sell the old. The reason that it's rented now is because the owner wanted to try and get a subdivision, so you can't sell it until you know what you're doing with the property. Ultimately, they'll probably both be sold.
Okay.
But it's really not doesn't affect.
No, I
the
think I
lot
got the
line.
idea.
Yeah.
As far as your statement about it being a unique 2-lot, and it couldn't present a precedent going towards other property in the area, why couldn't the 37-lot developer come in and say, I want 37 1-acre lots because it's in compliance with the rest of the area?
He could make the case.
So then we,
Good luck. But
it's good luck, but he's got as good argument as you do.
yes and no.
I'll agree, yes and no.
All right. Any other questions from the board?
I just have 2 other things, if I may,
I-
that may help with their comments. Number 1 is one of the reports indicate that the survey is greater than 12 months old. So if the board would have granted this approval, we'd have to update the survey. Second comment was, do we intend to perfect by plat or deed? And it would be by deed. Those are 2 questions raised, I think, in Ernie's report that I just wanted to respond to. I'm sorry, Nav, it's up to you.
It's all right. Mr. Clegg, anything from you? Mr. Peters?
Well, as the chair of the master plan subcommittee, you really took all my planning fire away. So you can send an invoice for that. I guess the only comment or question to Mr. Tykina is, I guess 2. The proposed plan lists specific bulk requirements for the R1 zone, correct?
Yes, it lists them as R1 following the R3 standards.
I'm sorry, you want to say that again? I didn't quite get that.
For the required, it lists the R3 standard.
But you're proposing R1.
We're
variance.
proposing the R1, the 40-foot for the lot 2, because that's where the building envelope fits best.
Okay,
given the
I'm
unique shape
trying
of
to
the
figure
property.
out how this isn't tantamount to rezoning. If you're asking for a 40-foot front setback, which is the standard in R1, where 80 foot's required in the R3, side yard setbacks of 20, which are the R1 standard, where the R3 standard for side yard setback is 80. We're sort of picking the zone we want to put this in.
We're acknowledging that the established development pattern is much closer to the R1 than the R3.
And it doesn't appear that accessory structure setbacks are listed in Mr. Sermont's plan for the new lot. It just says not applicable.
Correct.
I think there's got to be a standard in there because, quite frankly, in the R3 zone, nothing fits on the property at all, correct?
Correct. They're listed,
So unless
they're
you're
listed
asking-
correctly in your report.
So unless you're asking for variance relief or different standards for the proposed lot 5.01, the correct accessory structure setbacks would be the ones prescribed in R3, correct?
Correct. And I don't believe we're seeking an accessory structure for the new home.
But would you agree that when you apply the R3 accessory structure setbacks, regardless of what the accessory structure is, and I think 4 of them are listed, none of them would fit on proposed lot 5.01.
Agreed.
So anyone who came in for any accessory structure on proposed lot 501, or for that matter, any expansion on proposed lot 5.02 would require a variance.
Yes.
Thank you.
But they don't need a variance right now for that, correct?
Correct, because an accessory structure is not
It's
proposed.
not present, okay.
Any other questions from this board?
I have a bunch to go over with them, but
I'm
if
sure you
nobody
do.
else has anything else, I
We're
can-
ready for
I
you.
just have one. How many, if you were to use the R3 standard, you don't meet any of the criteria for that, correct?
For the new lot?
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Going off of what Ernie just said, so basically, if this did get a subdivision like this, it very much could create variances needed by the new dwelling.
If they wanted to put a pool or something else.
A lot of
yes.
variances created.
They'd have to go to the zoning board for bulk variances.
Thank you.
All right, if you could just articulate to the board, because I think it's getting a little bit confusing right now, is it's an R1 zone, but you're using R3 standards. Just explain that, please. Or, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, R3 zone, right? Right.
No, it's an R1 zone.
But we have to use R3 standards
Right.
if we don't have
Under,
septic.
right, under the provisions of your ordinance, in the R1 zone where there is not public water and sewer available,
Mhm.
the R3 standard
Standards
is applied.
apply. Okay. And just to be clear, so you're requesting 2 C1 variances, 1 side yard setback, and the other one is,
Side yard setback for the existing detached garage.
right. And just, if you can point out the C1 variance on the map as to why you think it's a hardship variance based upon the condition of the property.
Because the existing home is 11.1 feet from the existing side yard lot line.
Right.
And that's an existing condition. It would be a hardship on the applicant to have to move their house. And that is a C1. And then likewise, for the detached garage in the rear, our existing side yard does not meet the 50 feet. Notwithstanding, the proposed is a C2. You can't, I can't call a self-imposed condition a C1. But the 2 existing additions are C1 variances.
Gotcha. And then the C2 variances are minimum lot area, minimum lot width, and minimum front yard setback, correct?
Yes.
Right. And then the positive criteria is E, G, and M that support all 3?
Correct.
Right. And there's no detriment that you see to the zone.
Correct, because it is consistent with the prevailing development pattern in the area.
That is the only questions I have.
I think we'll open it to the public now, please, Mr. Sullivan.
I'd like to make a motion to open this application to the public for cross-examination of the witness, or witnesses.
And then again, only cross-examination at this time. Then we'd close this section. We'd open it again for general comments. So does anyone have any specific questions for the 2 gentlemen who on this application? Please come forward.
Seeing no one come forward, I move to close the cross-examination portion of this application. Sullivan?
Second, hello?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to open this portion of the application to public comment on this application. Sullivan?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, please come forward. And you'll be sworn in. State your name and address. Just a second.
Yep, hang on one sec. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
We're having
You just
trouble hearing
speak into
you.
the
You have to
microphone.
get really close. So, thank you.
Joseph Ramasugas, last name Romisoukas. I live at 136 Willow Drive.
Okay.
The 1.96 acre property that he said didn't exist. I'm really concerned about the septics. That's my biggest thing. I mean, right up the road, the new septic system that's 3 years old runs off to the neighbor's property.
You just speak into the microphone, please. Yeah.
I'm doing my best here.
Yep.
I've just worked 12 hours.
I understand.
Bear with me. And the proposal, there's a well in front of the house that just showed up one day. The old house had stickers on it from not passing code for 2 years. I just have a lot of concerns with the property and the management of the property beforehand. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it was following any rules before. You know, I mean, the whole area over there is just a very quiet, low-key neighborhood. And now we're adding homes, and it's really, I'm looking at this, it's gonna be really close to the road. I mean, it's gonna be right on top of the house that is 0.3 acres. You know what I'm saying? So I just have a lot of general concern of the prior things that they did already. And it just doesn't make sense. Be honest with you, I've been living there for 10 years. You know, I know majority of the neighborhood, and I have 1.96 acres. So you're telling me I have 0.1 less than them, I could subdivide, and my property is perfect for that. You know what I mean? Like, the guy brought up a case that 37 acres that the Boy Scout camp owns behind us, they can start doing 1 acre lots too. So I'm just a little bit below that. I can separate it and then make 2 lots out of mine. And I don't know, it just kind of destroys the neighborhood in my opinion. The whole feel of it. Just wanted to come up here. It's my
Thank you,
first time
sir.
ever doing this. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So,
Yes, please come forward. Take your time.
yeah, if you want to take the microphone out.
And you have to get really close to that one, ma'am.
If she
Is
wants
it
to take
on?
the microphone out and speak into it.
May not be on.
Yes, Sal, if you want to give her yours.
Carlos, just give her the
Yeah.
hand mic.
Please, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record. You just have to
My
speak into
name
the
is Karen Pakasinski, Pakasinski. I live at 150 Willow Drive, right next door to 156 for 35 years.
Okay.
Okay, there has been nothing but headache since this gentleman bought the property next door. He rents it out, he put in a well, okay, without a permit, which is in between where they want to build that house. So that has a well there that is not by permit. Everything that they have done by code, I've had to call, they have not done anything by code. The code took, somebody came, or when they first built the house, and built a staircase up to the back porch, and it was not up to code, and the code officer came, made them take it out. Then they had illegal people come in and rent the house out for 2 years that were renting to people that had a babysitting service underneath in that downstairs where you're referring to, the underground cellar. And they, after, I guess, somebody in the neighborhood, because they were parking their cars on the lawn, dropping babies off between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning and picking them up at between 5 and 9 a.m. at night. And they finally shut them down, okay? Those illegal people were there for like a year and a half. And then in the middle of the night, they absconded and left. They had to pick 30-yard dumpsters, 3 of them, to get all their stuff out of the house. Every time somebody comes there, it's in the dark. Nobody has any kinds of licenses on their equipment to build, to do anything else. It's been a heck of a nightmare for me in the past year since this gentleman bought the house. I don't want to have to do that at the house next door either. And if you come and look, that well that they put in is on the property where he wants to build the house, and it's not by permit.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else like to come forward?
All right. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. Please state your name and spell your last in the record.
David Barr, F as in Frank, A-R-R. I live with Karen next to that house, and all that stuff that she's saying is true, but I've lived on that street since 1989, I guess. And as far as everyone there, all the old timers, I've took care of and buried a few of them. That whole street was just little block buildings with no running water, of course, no bathrooms with no running waters. And his house, for example, the little part of it was the original part of the house. And down the other side was the same thing. Another tiny little part was the original house with no bathroom, no running water, and then they put a big addition on it. It's just, and our house is what, 60 years old? Our house is, so the way the street kind of developed, it was like just patching here, patching there. And from what I was told, people came to that street for the summer to go down to Lake Eno, which we know is where the mud rack started. And it's just a quiet little street that over the years that I lived there, it got twice as wide. It's become a cut through so people could miss the light up at Cook's Bridge and Bennett's Mills. And I mean, I had animals that horses and goats and dogs that just wandered around up there and it was no problem. Now they just want to keep, like you're talking, the high density housing, they just want to keep squeezing another house here, squeeze another house there. More traffic, and there's all traffic around Jackson, as we know. And a lot of it comes through there, and they cut down our street at whatever speed, 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I don't think anybody goes 25 miles an hour, but what concerns me about this house is the septic. I was under the impression that they couldn't put any more houses with septics on our street. And the house that he's talking about is when that came up. And who knows, it's hearsay wherever it came from, but like he said, their septic it's an above ground, so to speak, septic. It's a big bump. And the runoff, they made this little tiny swale and some kind of wall, and the runoff from the rainwater goes into the poor guy's, I don't know his name, I don't really know him, but my friend is the next house over. And you can see right from his shop up into the back of the house, the water just comes down across the one guy's yard and then into my friend's yard, and it goes into the swamp where, you can't stop Mother Nature. That's the way it goes, I mean, you can, they didn't give it much, they didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. And their backyard is like a raised septic. It's just a big bump. Then the bump goes to the property line, and then where does the water go? It goes into the neighbor's yard. And now, Dave from the zoning board was out there because the poor guy right next to it, his whole backyard stinks from septic because it's leaking. Because it's basically an above ground. It's not in the ground. So what kind of septic are they going to put in this house? It's going to be 40 feet off the road. Look at the picture. Our house, we can look right in their back, whatever they do in their backyard. And there's no, there could be, I wouldn't swear to it, I don't think there's any houses that are 40 foot off the street. If they are, they've been there for over how many years? It's just like, and they were probably a little tiny block cottage or whatever with no running water and no bathroom, and then somebody bought it and I don't have to tell you about what went on around Jackson years and years ago. Everybody did whatever they wanted to do, and that's how it happened. But like I said, it's a quiet little street. We don't need sewer. We don't need water. Just leave it alone. Why keep squeezing all these little houses in that make more for other people down the road, the town, whoever, have to do, have, like you were saying, variances if you want to put in a pool or a shed or something like that. And like, I don't know, I didn't know it was 3-acre zoning there, but if it is, it is. Why cut it in half and, like I said, stick an eyesore right there? It's definitely going to be a giant eyesore for my yard. And like you said, who knows if they're going to rent. They rent the sewer that's leaking. Whoever built it, I think, lived in it for a little while, and then they rented it out, and then it was empty. And there's so many houses that these people have bought on our street that are empty. And who knows who's running in and out of these. And like my wife says, they came to the house next door to give estimates or looking at it to rent it, and they come at 10 o'clock at night in the dark. I called the cops a couple of times, and the cops told me, you can't come here at 10 o'clock at night and walk around with a flashlight and don't tell anybody what you're doing there, I don't know. I don't know. I just think, like I said, the setbacks is going to be an eyesore, and sewer. I don't think our street needs any more sewers. And like I said, we don't need a sewer, we don't need water, just leave it alone. Don't be sticking all these other new, and like somebody was saying about, well, how big is the house gonna be? It's gonna stick out like a sword. It's not gonna look like the street has been always, There's a couple giant ones, but they're kind of like back in the woods and you don't see them that much. But look how close it's gonna be to the road. I don't know.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to come forward on this application?
Seeing no one else come forward, I move to close the public cross-examination on this application. Sullivan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So, Mr. Peters, I have a question. I've been sitting here looking at, while we've been talking, at this property. If we have divide this lot and we have a variance, there'll be undersized lots, correct? That's a consideration then. It has to be a consideration.
All right, so before we, actually, if we want to have Mr. Alfieri conclude, do a summation, and then I can get into board.
We presented our planning testimony that we believe sufficiently addresses the variance relief, and we'd request the board vote favorably. You don't need any more time from me. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Alfieri. Mr. Peters, any final words for us? No. Mr. Klee? Board members, and how about our attorney?
Any last questions from the board members, or? No, okay. This is a little bit of a complicated one, so I'm going to break it down to everybody. So it's a subdivision. There's 2 lots being created. First lot with a home on it requires 4 variances, 2 for C1s, so side yard setback for the home, side yard setback for the garage. And then also would require, and I believe that's lot 5.01. No, I'm sorry, that's lot 0.502, and that would additionally require minimum lot area variance as a C2, minimum lot width variance as a C2, minimum front yard setback as a C2. Then moving on to lot 5.01, it requires all the same variances except for the detached garage side yard setback variance. So you have 4 on one and 5 on the other. Okay. Now, lumping that all together, let's talk about the C1 variances. Okay, so there's two different grounds in which to grant the C1 variance, or the legal test that you have to analyze to support whether or not it should be granted. First one is that the shape of the property causes the practical difficulty that the applicant proposes. That's the first way to either approve or deny a C1 variance. Second one would be the zoning ordinance itself causes an undue hardship based upon the shape of the property. Okay, so when you're looking at the C1 variances, that's the legal test that you have to consider. When looking at the C2 variances that the applicant brought, just like we do all the time, you have to weigh what's called the positive criteria, which are the letters that they indicate that they propose, which advance different measures of municipal land use law. So in this case, they're indicating that the minimum lot area, minimum lot width, minimum lot front yard setback is supported by E, G, and M. That would be the positive criteria. E is the design of the application itself as a contribution to the well-being of the neighborhood. G is that the application provides sufficient space for environmental requirements, regulations, all that good stuff. And M is that the application is a more efficient use of the land. I think it's kind of abbreviated, but you get the point. Those are the positive criteria that the applicant indicated. Again, when it comes down to the C2, it's a balancing test. You have to weigh the positive versus negative. The negative is, are there any detrimental impacts to either the ordinance itself or the master plan as a result of what's being proposed? In this case, the applicant indicated that there are no detriments. It's up to the board to analyze and weigh and determine if there is or isn't. So based upon the 5 variances that we have in front of us, it would create an undersized or 2 undersized lots in the zone if the variances are granted. But before we get to that point, you need to deliberate, number one, whether the C1 variances are warranted based upon those legal standards, and whether or not the C2 variances are warranted based upon the C2 legal standards. So it's a lot to keep in your head. It's a lot to kind of juggle around with right now because we got competing variances. But that's what you guys have to deliberate upon and analyze and deliberate and make a decision. All right?
Thank you. Given that, are there any questions from the board?
Bobby, can you go over the C1s again, just
Yeah.
briefly?
So what happens is C1 is it's called a hardship variance, right? And there's 2 ways of determining whether a C1 is granted or not. First is that the shape of the property causes the practical difficulty itself, right? Second is that the zoning ordinance itself causes an undue hardship based upon the shape of the property, right? So there's 2 different methods of getting to the same place, but that's the legal test, right? So you have to take a look at the shape of the property. You have to take a look at the practicalities of the zoning ordinance itself. See if a C1 is warranted based upon hardship, right? C2 totally different. It's got a balancing test, positive versus negative, and you have to weigh the 2 depending on what was presented and testimony the applicant provided, and the purposes of municipal land use law that they indicated they advance versus any detriments to the zone or master plan that you guys foresee, right? So 2 different standards, 2 different legal tests for different variance relief they're requesting on the property. But the sum total of it would be the creation of 2 undersized lots in the zone. So.
All right, we'll look for a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion.
Please.
I'd like to make a motion. Complicated to follow, and maybe because too many years of doing this stuff, we've tried to preserve the R3 zones, especially with the septic problems. As the attorney read off how many variances are needed, it seems a little much. And then to add the fact that anything the new house would want to do would need a variance. I think we're going the wrong direction of what all the master plans over the last 30 years tried to do. So I make a motion to decline.
I'll second that motion, Sullivan, and concur with Mr. Brezzi's reasoning. I don't think that this application passes the test for C2 variances, and C1 are questionable. And it is trying to rezone, basically.
We'll take a roll call.
Madam Chair, before a roll call, could the attorney explain what a no vote means?
Yes, a no vote, everyone would have to say voting against this application.
Well, you can just indicate yes, because
Okay,
it
no
would be a,
A yes would be a denial.
yes
of the
is
yes
a
would
no.
be a denial. But if the board wants, before we get to that point, board wants to deliberate as to the specific reasons.
I'm not hearing what you're saying.
So if you vote yes, you're denying the application.
Because the
Motion's
the
to deny.
motion has been and seconded to deny. But this is what we would always prefer to hear. When you make your vote, on what standard are you basing your vote? So why are you, if you're voting yes to deny, why are you voting yes to deny?
Right.
Would that
Do
be-
you not believe it meets the test for C1, for C2? Does it not? That's the purpose of deliberation. So with that, was there a second?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So there's a motion on the floor.
And a second.
So a
Roll
yes,
call.
during the roll call, a yes by a board member would be a vote in support of the vote of denial. Okay, but again, deliberations.
Mr. Brezzi.
I want to add also to my previous statement that I feel that the hardship is self-created. I just try and divide it and get a little too much use out of the land. I vote yes to deny.
Mr. Heller.
I vote yes to deny. I concur with what Mr. Bressi was saying. And as Mr. Riker used to say, I think there's just too much house here for too little land. So yes to deny.
Mr. Parks.
I vote yes to deny. I don't believe that any of these properties can support an adequate septic system.
Mr. Rogers.
I vote yes to decline. I support the master plan's intent.
Ms. Santoro. Mr. Tremor.
I also vote yes to deny, and I concur with every statement that's been said between the septic systems and the too much house on the property.
Mr. Sullivan.
I vote yes to deny. Once again, I believe that the C2 variance qualifications were not met, and it is too much for that size lot.
Dr. Campbell.
And I also vote yes to deny. And I understand that septic systems are better now. However, I just think there's just too much going on that size lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, Madam Chair, since the second application is identical, I'm going to need a chance to discuss with my client whether he wants to withdraw or move forward. In that
Or
case,
maybe make it not quite as dense.
I'm not
is a
it's almost
consideration.
identical as to this one, so it's pretty hard
Yes,
to
well,
change it. So we're going to
pretty
ask that
much.
that one get carried. Since my client is out of the country, I can't even
I
communicate
think that
with
might
him.
be wise.
So we just need a date.
If we carry, ma'am, you'll have an opportunity at another time to discuss this, if they even come forward to apply. They may not apply.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
right. So let's finish this application. So we have denied this application.
It's done.
Now, you wish to withdraw this application for Magnolia at this time?
I can't withdraw it without my client's permission, only to carry it so I have a
All right.
chance to discuss it.
All
And
right. So you will now carry this
So
application.
whatever date you pick,
And
and we'll.
what's a
make
good time? We're very busy until about October.
We have July 20th. We have Mr. Alfieri is here for a warehouse. I don't know if you'd want to try.
It's a consideration. Mr. Alfieri, you're here anyway?
I don't know, I'm
And
looking.
will that give
probably.
you time enough to
Yes,
meet with
plenty.
your client?
Plenty of time, and yes, that date is fine.
All right.
You need a
We
motion?
need a motion, please, Mr. Sullivan, maybe?
I'd like to make a motion to move the application for block 8901, lot 19, Joseph Chaim Minzberg, from tonight to July 20th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Mr. Alfieri. Thank you. Good night. We'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Sullivan?
Second, hello.
All in favor?
Aye.